Hey, Pat Rigsby here, and in today's episode, I want to talk with you about the surest path to success. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Fitness Business School podcast, the show for fitness business owners who want to grow their income, increase their impact, and improve their lifestyle. Be sure to listen till the end of this episode because we have a brand new special offer exclusive for listeners. So stay tuned.
For a lot of us, the end of summer can be a slower time. I know in my business, kind of wrapping up vacation and baseball and a variety of things. And so I'm probably not as engaged and investing as many hours as I might during other times of the year. And I think the market that we're in, I don't think that's an uncommon thing. And I also use that time to start to really kind of dig in and say, okay, what do I need to be thinking about? What kind of ideas are out there that I need to be up to date on? What kind of changes do I need to make? And what I have found time and time again, that the surest path to success is to leverage the proven stuff and freshen it up and make it relevant in the market or the landscape that you're navigating now. And what I love so much about that is I see it come to fruition every day. One of the things that we've seen so much in the last couple of years with marketing is how successful things like scholarships and sweepstakes and those types of things have been. And those aren't really new ideas, right? They're essentially the same concept that when I jumped into the commercial side of the fitness industry over 20 years ago, lead boxes, that was the play they were running. And I'm sure that happened long before that. It's just that's when I really became aware of it. And people have just kind of taken that idea, freshened it up to work in today's marketplace. And maybe it's something that they do with fish bowls. Maybe it's something they do with a full-blown sweepstakes online. I've seen a number of organizations use scholarships that, they're essentially running that same kind of, that same play. And it's something that's worked time and time again. Now, that doesn't mean that the people running that play now aren't doing great work with it. It means that they were smart enough to know that, hey, this is how humans behave. This is something that gets their attention. This is something that can get people to raise their hand and express an interest. And it creates an opportunity for us to have a conversation about moving forward together. So that's one example that I've seen work over and over. Another, my friend and business partner, Doug Sperling, with some of the businesses that we coach with his own gym, he's run a play called 3 on Me, which is basically we'll buy you 3 training sessions. And that, again, it's a different version of a free trial, a guest pass, that sort of thing. And it really kind of impacts the prospect in a different way, right? Because it reinforces the perceived value that this was something that somebody had to purchase and gift to me. And the first time I heard about that was from marketing legend Jay Abraham, who talked about buying training for you. And he'd run ads to that. He'd run ads on radio spots. And he talked about it. I didn't hear it live, but he talked about doing that same thing with Icy Hot when he launched Icy Hot through radio campaigns, buying people a bottle or a container of Icy Hot. And really, it is the same play. It's framed a different way, and it just impacts people in a different fashion. And that sort of thing, to me, is incredibly powerful. And those aren't the only ones, right? Like there are plenty of people that have been talking more recently about kind of relationship building before selling instead of just going direct from ad to webinar or ad to strategy call or something like that. Well, that's really the model that I've run for the last 20 plus years. And if we go back beyond, that's the model that I ran and all the successful college baseball coaches I knew were running too. You connect with somebody and you build a relationship and you create trust before you actually make an offer. And Now that is, I think, in vogue, and people kind of cycle in and out of that. The longer sales cycle, the longer runway before we make a purchase, just depending on how the market's kind of trust is in the people doing the selling. And finally, another one that I think that we see work so well with our best clients is this, what we call a Godfather offer, which is you get somebody in on a trial offer, some sort of free experience or low cost experience, a short-term experience, and you make them an irresistible offer at that kind of initial point of contact. They come in, they do this. Now, the name for it that we talked about it now, we picked up from a client at the time, Beth Bishop. I thought it was such a cool name that it's this offer you can't refuse. But the concept isn't dramatically different. I remember when I owned a health club, we'd get people in on 7-day trials, 14-day trials, even 1-month trials, and we'd convert between 55 and 59% of them to ongoing members on day one with some sort of irresistible offer at the point of sale that usually involved, hey, here's a gym bag with a t-shirt and a water bottle and a discount card to our partner businesses and access to our nutrition software and a couple sessions of free training and access to tanning and all this stuff. And so there's this big package of stuff that you get that's probably has a retail value of a couple $100-$300 if you trade in your trial on day one. And didn't matter how long our trial was. It could be 7 days. It could be a whole month. We held true converting that level of people on day one because of that strong offer. So there are things that have worked in the past that now with the technology we have available, with market preferences, with trends, you can freshen up a dozen different ways, 100 different ways, however you want. But it's not an entirely new idea. So what's the lesson? What's the takeaway here? Well, I think the takeaway is pretty simple. Go back and look at what worked for you in the past. Go back and study things that worked for you, not just last year, but 3 years ago, 5 years ago, if you've been in business this long, 10 or more years ago, and say, what elements of that can I recycle? And don't just limit it to you. Read books about how people marketed and what they did. Go back and do some discovery online with tools like AI. You can certainly go back and figure out things that people were doing really effectively to generate business years and years, decades ago, maybe even longer. And the thing that I think that we have to accept is businesses need and have historically always needed customers, clients, or patients. And so owners, entrepreneurs, marketers, they've always found creative ways to generate business. And it's to our detriment if we ignore those things that happened in the past and say, okay, what can we learn from this? What can we recycle and update and freshen up and throw a new coat of paint on? Because those opportunities to leverage things that worked in the past give you a much higher probability of success. They allow you to really do what I think is the best form of ideation, right? You combine something that's proven with something new or creative or fresh or different, and we get this updated, better version. And if you really kind of pull back the curtain, that's what most innovation looks like, right? It's taking one part of something that's worked well as a component of the recipe and then adding some things or changing some things or subtracting some things to make it work now. So if you want the surest path to success, this is probably it, right? Not trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to learn. If you're not a student of history or business history more specifically, people have documented their entire lives of entrepreneurship in books, and they're easy to find, and you can go back and learn a lot, and you'll be amazed at how much that springs you forward. So if you want success, look in the past. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Fitness Business School. Before you go, I have a quick announcement.
One of the things that we've been doing with our current clients is taking them through this ideal business diagnostic. And really what it is this checklist that allows you to pinpoint exactly what your business needs next so you can keep improving, keep growing, and build a business that you love to own. One that pays you well, one that allows you to have the impact you want to have, and one that allows you to have a lifestyle that you truly enjoy. In this diagnostic, we walk through everything and we do an evaluation and can instantly pinpoint what you need to do next to build that business that you want. I'm going to extend this opportunity to get on with either me or my team and take you through this evaluation and fix your business's most vital needs fast. So if we take you through this, you're going to be able to make those vital changes that you need to finally have what I call your ideal business. If you'd be interested in going through this entirely free, risk-free diagnostic with us and learn what you already have in place, what you're doing well, and where your greatest opportunities for rapid improvement are, just shoot me an email with diagnostic in the subject line to pat@patrigsby.com. Again, an email to pat@patrigsby.com with diagnostic in the subject line will get you scheduled and take you through this evaluation to help you build the business you want.